Almost certainly they do, right? I mean, genetics play a part in really everything that happens to us as humans, right? It's actually been much more difficult to tease out the role of genetic factors in epileptogenesis than was initially thought, right? And that's actually been a lesson that we've learned from a lot of genetic studies in many complex human diseases. There have been several candidate gene studies looking at either inflammatory factors or other factors such as that, where variants in the genes that code for these inflammatory molecules appear to have an increase in the risk of post-traumatic epilepsy. Now, unfortunately, these candidate gene studies historically in the genetics field have been very difficult to replicate, and I think that remains it's a replication problem. Now, there has never been a genome-wide allelic association study or GWAS study done in post-traumatic epilepsy, right? There has been done in many other common human diseases, but there are some real challenges for doing that for post-traumatic epilepsy. I think that's something that will likely produce some insights. The lesson of those GWAS studies in other human diseases is that common variants, which is what you can study with that approach, usually result in only a very small increase in the relative risk for post-traumatic epilepsy or for other conditions, which means that you need very large sample sizes in order to be absolutely confident that it's a real association. Rare variants, right? Things that may occur in very, very few people in the population. Well, they can sometimes produce a much higher relative risk, but likewise, by the nature of there being rare variants, that presents a real challenge to their study as well. I think the real value of genetics is that it will not necessarily that it will identify people at high risk, but that it will confirm that a particular molecular pathway is involved in the epileptogenic process, and those can be targets for therapies. They can be used in developing experimental models, et cetera.